Hi and welcome. It's Brian Flynn and Sarah Dutra with the Brian Flynn Home Selling Team. Today, Sarah's going to talk about the do's and don'ts of the home loan process.
Hi everybody. So this is a really important topic. Getting a loan during the home buying process is an integral part of keeping the transaction together. So there's some things that you want to make sure that you're aware of during the loan process. So most importantly, first and foremost, I always educate my buyers to reach out to their loan officer if they have any questions at all about things they shouldn't and shouldn't do. Essentially, a great loan officer will go over this with you when you're in the process of getting your pre-approval. But always, as a rule of thumb, just reach out to your loan officer so you can make sure that you're not doing anything that may affect your pre-approval. One of those items would be not to quit your job. So this may seem obvious, but during the process, stability is key. So if something were to happen with your job, you just don't want to raise any eyebrows with the loan department. So if you think that you may be switching a job or something, could be occurring, you definitely want to let your loan officer know as soon as possible. The next thing that you don't want to do is you don't want to buy or lease a vehicle. So the loan department will do a soft pull on your credit a couple days prior to closing. So any new or incurred debt will show up on that pull, and that will certainly affect your debt to income ratio. So if you have a lease that may be expiring, you definitely want to bring this to attention to your loan officer, and definitely don't make any purchases in regards to buying a car or leasing a car. The next thing that you don't want to do is you don't want to incur any new debt at all. So this sort of goes along with the last one I just mentioned. So you don't want to put any balances on your credit cards, and you just really don't want to incur any new debt at all. So watching your spending is super important to make sure that this doesn't affect your pre-approval process. And again, if you have a question about anything, you always just want to double check with your loan officer to make sure that you're not going to affect your credit in any way. Another thing that you don't want to do is you don't want to touch your down payment account. So typically you would set aside your down payment in a specific account, and you don't want to transfer any money in and out of this account during the process. So anything that the loan department could see as money coming in or money coming out needs to be sourced. So you just want to put your money in a certain account and leave it there and not touch it, because again, anything that could come up that could raise an eyebrow with a loan department could affect your pre-approval. So you want to keep your money in one account and not touch it. Another thing that you don't want to do is you don't want to omit any liabilities. Where the loan department is going to pull your credit and they are going to understand your assets and liabilities, if there is anything that you believe to be a liability, you want to bring this to the attention of your loan officer before the process. And the last thing you want to do is get all the way through the home buying process and then have something come up that could affect you actually buying the home. And it's always just really important to be upfront and honest with your loan officer so they can work through any of those issues prior to closing. And the last thing that you don't want to do is you just don't want to buy any new appliances or any furniture for your new home. So again, this kind of goes along with not incurring any debt, but a lot of times a buyer will get really excited about moving into the property and go out and purchase a bunch of furniture, and you don't want to do this. You want to basically leave your finances still during the entire process so you can ensure that you close on time without any bumps in the road. So those are the things you really want to avoid during the home loan process. And again, if you have any questions, very important to just reach out to your realtor, reach out to your loan officer, and make sure you're not doing anything that could affect the process.
Well, thank you all for joining us today. Thank you, Sarah. That was very informative. And if you have any further questions, just type them in the box below, and Sarah or myself will get back to you shortly. Thanks again.